Alright, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Shine the Power. So in this video I want to talk about the pressure to take steroids in this industry that we're all kind of involved in. If you're watching this video, you're on a bodybuilding YouTube channel, so you're probably a fan of bodybuilding, you're at least a fan of the fitness industry in general, and you're following, the current events, the Mr. Olympia, the Arnold Classic, or you at least follow some guys on Instagram or YouTube that might be bodybuilders. So you have some interest in this physical culture that is, this bodybuilding and fitness industry. So I think as someone with a large following, it really is one of our obligations. We really kind of have a duty to talk about things like this, because I think it is really an important subject. And me myself being a natural bodybuilder, but still being a fan of the IFBB and watching these shows, and I think it's entertaining. I think we do have a certain responsibility to talk about the fact that there's a tremendous pressure, specifically on young kids, to take steroids. I mean, they see these guys, they look up to these guys. Before, they were on magazines, kind of now not so much. We don't really look at the magazines for, our motivation. We see, Instagram. And Instagram, I think, is an even bigger problem than the magazines, because you've got, filters, you got people taking photos under the best lighting, the best angles, making themselves look the best that they can possibly look, and probably as unrealistic as they can possibly look, especially these pro bodybuilders. You see these guys post on Instagram under perfect lighting, perfect filters, sharpening up their pictures, and they look just unreal. And they provide kind of this idyllic image of what the physique can look like to a lot of these younger guys. And being a natural guy myself that's been training for 10 years, I've been through pretty much every stage of the mindset of bodybuilding. I mean, when we all first get started, it's great. I mean, the first couple years that you're lifting, you see a tremendous amount of change happening to your body. Really, for me, I didn't feel any pressure or any interest in even learning about or looking at or taking any kind of steroids. I had no interest in it, because when I first started training, I was putting on like 15 or 20 pounds of muscle, or weight, if you want to call it weight or muscle, per year, because it was those beginner gains. So I think as beginner lifters, we all kind of don't really see ourselves as needing an extra push to get bigger, because we're seeing these tremendous changes to our body, and that's what really gets us hooked. And I think it definitely is something that happens in stages, especially when you're a natural guy. The way that you look at yourself, the way that you look at your physique, the way that bigorexia kind of comes and goes, kind of the way your self-esteem goes, because self-esteem, I think, in this industry is a really big problem for a lot of people, especially the natural guys, because you do feel this pressure, especially a guy like me, man. I've got a massive following online, almost 400,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. So if anyone feels pressure to look better, or to have a more impressive physique, or to have a physique that would impress more people, it's a guy like me, man, that's been natural for 10 years, and I'm seeing all these guys with crazy big channels. Think about the guys like Rich Piana and guys like that. Obviously, steroid users, and these are the guys with arguably some of the biggest channels and the biggest followings in this industry. And of course, also being a guy that follows the IFBB, I mean, we are fans of these guys. We're fans of the Jay Cutlers. We're fans of the Big Ramis. We're fans of the Phil Heaths. We are fans of watching these big, entertaining physiques that seem larger than life. So if anyone would feel pressure to take steroids, it would be a guy like me that comments on this topic, comments on this industry, and is a fan of this industry. And I'm sure there's plenty of people that look at me and say, hey, I mean, this guy doesn't look anything like these IFBB pros. He clearly doesn't take steroids. He clearly doesn't compete at that level. Why is he a fan of this, or why is he commenting on this? And I think, the majority of bodybuilding fans, and that's why I wanted to make this video, is the majority of fans of bodybuilding, I would say probably 99%, are natural guys. They're younger guys in their teens and 20s, in college, in high school. They see the magazines, they see Instagram, they see YouTube, and they become fans of the sport because, like I said, when you first start training, you're putting on all this muscle, and you become, curious. You want to see, what you can look like. You want to look at these crazy, larger than life physiques, and be a fan of these physiques. So like I said, I feel a responsibility to talk about this, especially for the younger guys, because I think the biggest fan base of bodybuilding, and I've seen this in my comment section, I've seen this on my Instagram, I'd say 99% of the commentators, or a very high percentage, a very high majority, are younger guys, college guys, high school guys, natural guys, guys that probably have no intention of ever competing at the level of an IFBB pro or even a national level NPC show, but they're fans of it because it's entertaining. You like to see the boundary of human development being pushed, but that doesn't necessarily mean you want to push it yourself. So I wanted to address that point in this video as well. Just because you're a fan of pro bodybuilding doesn't mean you have to be pro steroids. It doesn't mean you have to take steroids. It doesn't have to mean that you aspire to be a pro bodybuilder. I mean, I'm a fan of the NFL, and I've never had any aspirations of being an NFL player or any dreams of being an NFL player. Likewise with, the MLB or hockey. You can enjoy to watch those things without having any aspirations of being involved in it or being that kind of athlete. It's just something that's entertaining to a lot of people that are within this realm of, I like to go to the gym, but I don't necessarily want to take steroids. I don't necessarily want to push my body to that limit. So I wanted to talk about it, man. I felt a lot of pressure to take steroids over the years, especially when you kind of hit that slump. So I've kind of said in the beginning of this video that there's stages to your weightlifting experience, to your natural bodybuilding journey. And even if you're not natural, you're still gonna experience some of these stages. Again, you're gonna have that beginner gain stage where you just think you're on top of the world, you're putting on this crazy amount of muscle, you're obsessed with going to the gym because you're obsessed with these changes that you're seeing to your body. You're very confident. You're very confident because you've done this, you've built your body. That's bodybuilding. And for the first couple of years, you're building your body to a very good degree without any kind of, you probably don't even need to take supplements when you're first starting out, because if you're eating right and you're training hard and you hadn't been training before, you're gonna make a significant amount of gains just starting out without any supplements or anything, to be honest with you guys. But then there comes a point where you start to see those gains taper off. And the first couple of years you're gaining 15 or 20 pounds, starts to slow down, 5 pounds, maybe a couple pounds. Then you try to push it to the limit and you say, okay, I'm just gonna bulk like crazy. And you really just get fat, especially if you're natural. You don't really see the muscle gains that you used to see when you were younger or when you were first starting out. So you start to get fat, you start to try to put on muscle, you cut down, and you realize, I didn't really put on that much muscle, I just got fat. So then you're starting to think, man, I've been training hard, I've been training long, I've been training for years, and I'm not really seeing much, if any, change to my physique at this point, again, especially for natural guys. So you start to question, is the steroid route the route that I should go? Should I do something to take my physique to the next level? And I think that is the question that a lot of you guys are asking. And it's a question that I get all the time. Should I take steroids? Do I have what it takes to be an IFBB pro bodybuilder? This is my physique naturally. What do you think? Do you think if I took steroids I could take it to the next level? And I get that question all the time. So in this video, I kind of wanted to answer that in a general sense. I think if you're natural and you're even questioning whether or not to take steroids, if it's in the back of your mind that you shouldn't, or there's any doubt in your mind that you don't want to take steroids, I think you should not take steroids. Because I think the people that become IFBB pro bodybuilders, the people that make it to the Mr. Olympia, the people that compete at the top level, there's no doubt in their minds that they're going to do what it takes to get to that level. So if you have any doubt, I think you know deep down that that's not the route that you want to take and that's not the route you want to go, but you're feeling pressure to go that route. So you're asking people like me, should I go that route? So if you're asking, I think you probably shouldn't take that route. And it's really a matter of what's the risk to benefit ratio on doing this. If you take steroids, what is it you're really going to achieve from doing that? Is it going to be a financial gain? Is it going to be a confidence gain? Is it going to be, I'm going to get more followers on social media? What is the main benefit? You need to ask yourself from doing this. Are you just doing it for yourself? Are you doing it to impress other people? And I think if you're doing it to impress others, it's really something that you should probably not do. If you're really doing it because you feel there's an expectation externally for you to do it, you probably shouldn't do it. If you're not doing it for yourself, I certainly feel you should not take steroids. And you got to think about the risks, man. Louis Marco has been doing a great job in his recent videos. He's been doing a series where he talks about the truth of the fitness industry. He's been saying in those videos, these guys that made the decision to take steroids at a very young age, a lot of these guys can never go back to being natural because they've shut down their natural hormone production and they have to stay on these hormones for the rest of their life. And that's a very good point. You got to think about life after bodybuilding. Even if you made it to a national level NPC show, even if you made it to the IFBB, you got to think about your life after bodybuilding. Is that a commitment that you're willing to make to put those hormones in your body for the rest of your life? Because you've now done so much damage to your system that it can't, maintain homeostasis on its own. So that's really something we all need to think about, is what's the risk to reward from a health standpoint, from a commitment standpoint, and what it's going to look like for the rest of your life after bodybuilding, because bodybuilding is a very temporary state, especially if you're doing it as a career. The pro bodybuilders, what do they have? About a decade of being on top, if they're on top, and after a decade they start to taper off. Some guys even, a much shorter pro career than that. So you got to think about that, man. While I am a big fan of pro bodybuilding, I like to see these guys push the limit because they're passionate about it. They've made that decision that they're going to do whatever it takes. That doesn't necessarily mean it's for you or me to make that same decision, but we can still enjoy watching the process of them achieve their goals, of them push their physique, of them show us, what a human physique can look like if you take it to the extreme. I thought it was really important for me to make that point, that even though I'm a fan of this, it's not something I would ever choose for myself. I think the health, risk certainly outweighs any benefit for me, because if I ever took steroids, I wouldn't be doing it for myself, because I know deep down steroids isn't something that I ever want to do. It's not something I want to put my body through, and if I did it, it would be to impress you guys. It would be to impress people on the internet. It would be to, get more attention for myself, get more followers based on my physique. I think that's just a very vain and selfish pursuit. I mean, you really got to think about yourself first before you think about what others think about how you look. Personally, I chose a natural route because A, I want to be healthy. B, I want to have a good physique for myself. It builds my confidence. It's something I enjoy doing. I do it because I enjoy working out. I do it because I enjoy watching the changes that I make to my body. I don't do it necessarily because, hey, these people are gonna think I got big arms. I'm doing it because I really like to work out and I really like to be healthy and I really enjoy the process. It's a really fun thing to do for me. And again, that raises the question, if you decide to take steroids, are you doing it because you enjoy the process, or are you doing it because you want to impress others? So I just wanted to make this video because I know a lot of you younger guys out there right now are probably feeling a lot of pressure to take steroids, and a lot of older guys on my channel will tell you, I see them comment it all the time as well. I'm 55 years old, I'm 60 years old, I'm 65 years old, and I've been natural my entire life, and they always say in the comment section, I want these younger guys to see my comment because I've been doing this for 30, 40 years, training, enjoying training, and enjoying the process, and I haven't put my health in jeopardy during that entire period of time. So I just wanted to speak to all of you younger guys that are watching this right now, that are feeling any type of pressure to be bigger, to take steroids, to do something that deep down you're probably not comfortable with, and you're kind of wrestling with your conscience on whether or not you should do it. My opinion, from Nick's Strength and Power, from a bodybuilding YouTuber, my opinion for you guys would be not to do it. My opinion for you guys would be to value your health, value your longevity, and not necessarily pursue a career as a pro bodybuilder. We can all enjoy pro bodybuilding together. We can all follow it together. We can all watch it. We can all, be entertained by it. But you should not have to feel pressure to be one of those guys just because you're a fan of those guys. And I know on the internet there's a lot of trolls. There's a lot of people that'll talk shit, especially if you're a natural guy. Guys on gear will be very quick to jump on your Instagram and say you look like shit. Why are you even involved in the sport? And I think that's just a very shitty thing for them to do, because being a fan of bodybuilding and being a natural bodybuilder are not two mutually exclusive things. You can be a natural bodybuilder and be a fan of pro bodybuilding. And I just wanted to stress that to you guys, because even though I do enjoy watching it, even though I do talk about it, even though I do make videos about it, I don't endorse necessarily what they're doing. I don't encourage you guys to become pro bodybuilders. I don't encourage you guys to live that lifestyle. I encourage you guys to be natural. I think the message that Louis Marco has been putting out lately has really hit the nail on the head. And I really agree 100% with some of the things he says in his videos. And I really want to stress to you guys that it's very important, even if you're feeling the pressure, to not give into that pressure and to stay true to yourself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. And I hope maybe I imparted some wisdom on you younger guys. I mean, I'm only 25 myself, but I've been there. I've had those thoughts myself. I've wrestled with it myself. And I made the decision that I'm never going to take steroids and put my health in jeopardy. So thank you guys for watching the video. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.